All right, so those are our summaries for tonight.
Very interesting happenings in Ghana and around the world.
I mean, the telecoms one is of interest to me.
I've seen some Airtel Tigo customers complain on social media about
not only them, it's a general thing.
Of the network. And the deal confirmed, you should be happy.
Yeah.
Michael Kors taking over Versace. That's interesting as well.
You should get one Michael Kors watch. Oh.
Manchester United also making so much money, even though their performance
I don't really care about them. I'm a Liverpool fan.
I knew you'd say that. Of course, next story, very interesting. For those of us who went to senior high schools, we know the importance of the trunk.
Did you carry yours?
I actually don't remember. I've been trying to figure out whether I went with a suitcase or
that big. I carried mine. Was really heavy.
But I know that my brothers handed it over to,
that's the tradition, right?
That's the tradition. All right. So they were quite inconvenient to carry around, but certainly a dependable companion in boarding school. If you didn't have a new one, perhaps you may have inherited one from a relative. The iconic red and black traditional trunk box was certainly a treasure, but has modernity affected the price and demand for the good old trunk? Sandra Esnafenu takes a trip down memory lane to Jamestown, a trunk manufacturing hub, and brings you the rest of the story.
This is Jamestown, the hub of the good old metallic box trunk. Following the collapse of two trunk manufacturing companies, Nyame Metals and Links, in the late 70s, affected workers migrated here at Jamestown to start their own business. And since 1976, these men have held on to the business, ensuring the trunk culture lingers. Charles Omanikwe is one of those men, and he tells me experience has made the job easier.
We, the workers, we work at Nyame Metals and Links. We are those who have come down to, we started working doing this trunks here.
Depending on the demand, Charles is able to manufacture a trunk within 3 hours. High demand for trunks, especially during the academic season, has pushed lots of youngsters into the manufacturing business. One would have thought, with the evolution of time, demand for trunks would dwindle. The story is rather the opposite. More and more parents would choose trunk on any day to modern-day briefcases. The reason is simple: holding on to tradition and durability.
Since I know that the trunk is better than the chobos, because the trunk, there's a locker, 2 lockers, and there may be incense and those things cannot get to it, so that to spoil is food or those things, the items in the trunk.
A trunk now ranges between 70 and 100 cedis, depending on the quality of the metal sheets. Despite the high demand, manufacturers say they are bedeviled with several challenges. The metal sheets used in the manufacturing of the trunks are not made locally. They are imported. The fast depreciating cedi is also having a huge toll on the business.
The metal sheet is now expensive. The dollar has affected the price because the sheets are imported.
For over 40 years, these men have not only kept the trunk tradition alive, but have also provided job opportunities for many young people. But despite their contribution, they say the sector has been neglected. Some of the manufacturers believe it's about time Ghana starts exporting the trunks to at least neighboring countries. Perhaps this could be one of the areas governments may want to invest in under the One District, One Factory program. After all, every high school student is a patron of the good old metallic box trunk.
Very interesting report filed there by Sandra Esnafenu. Full story airing tomorrow, Wednesday, on the AM show. That's AM Business. Don't miss it. Let's move on now. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has disclosed that strategies for the $50 billion century bond will be captured in the 2019 budget statement. According to him, the budget statement, which is expected in Parliament on November 15, will outline how government intends to raise the fund. The minister made the disclosure after the launch of a public investment management system policy in Accra.
Government last month expressed interest to float a $50 billion century bond facility to help bridge the country's infrastructure gap. This news, however, received mixed reaction from sections of the public and analysts as well. According to Minister of Finance Ken Ofori-Atta, the 2019 budget statement and economic policy of the government will include details on how the bond will be issued. He further explained that the bond issuance will start immediately after the budget on November 15th. Ken Ofori-Atta said the economy has gained some ground and has therefore expressed optimism that such funds will help support government's programs.
I think the concept will be in there, and then the fundraise will start after the budget. Yeah, but we're excited about it. I think we have, gone through the worst of times. And where we are now. Certainly the issue of the currency, the dollar has gotten stronger all around. I think the UK, the pound sterling is about 5% down, euro about 6%, South Africa. So really, in terms of comparables, we are holding our own in many respects. And that's why we had the S&P upgrade, which signals the confidence in what we are doing and where we are going. I think we need to increase liquidity in the system, and we need to work on that.
Commenting on the economic rebasing, the finance minister noted that it will expand the economy by 20% and also bring down the debt to GDP ratio.
Well, it's good for Ghana, first of all. That's what is important. I don't know. I mean, typically it's been some sort of north of 20-30%, but I don't know. I think in a conservative way, I'm not expecting more than 20%. Yeah. Revenue to GDP then declines, and then that puts pressure on us and GRA to do much better than we are doing, which is important, to put the pressure on.
Ken Ofori-Atta, however, believes that the launch of the policy document for public investment management system is critical for the country, with the coming in of many infrastructure funds. The policy is expected to guide public institutions on funding infrastructure projects across the country. Ebenezer Sabotis reports for Joy Business.
In other news tonight, the Hungarian government has expressed interest in establishing 6 factories under the One District, One Factory program. Hungarian ambassador to Ghana, Andras Zabo, says they are currently in talks with the Trade Ministry over the plan, which will solely focus on agro-processing.
Government's flagship One District, One Factory program has attracted the interest of the Hungary government, as the ambassador to Ghana tells Joy Business the move forms part of new deals the Hungarian government will land with Ghana. Speaking at the sidelines of the 5th Visiting Embassies, Entrepreneurs and Networking event by the Association of Ghana Industries, Hungarian ambassador to Ghana, Andras Zabo, explained that the establishment of some 6 factories will be part of the medium to long-term investment in Ghana.
Within the 1D, 1F program, we would like to carry out smaller size agro-processing projects, mainly fruit and meat processing.
So have you finalized these deals with government so far? When are you beginning these projects?
It's more we would like to deal with private partners actually.
So when are these projects going to start?
Some started. Some we only have the vision. So I'm talking about 5 to 6 projects. Half of them we already started negotiations, and we are quite close to sign an agreement very soon.
Meanwhile, Deputy Trade Minister Carlos Ahinkra has assured captains of industry at the event that the One District, One Factory program is on take-off stage. According to him, government is confident of seeing the program go through.
There are many of these companies that have set up already. As I speak to you, the first year we had about 695 applications for One District, One Factory. When they were scrutinized by the consultants, we had about 480 coming out as good bankable projects, which we proposed for or recommended for funding. I must say that this is not a project that is government sponsored. It is private sector led, but government is available to provide everything that you need to make your company gel.
The Accra Regional Annual General Meeting and 5th Visiting Embassies, Entrepreneurs and Networking event by the AGI saw players express concerns over the high cost of doing business and also deliberate on the best ways of easing the access to capital for SMEs.
So based on the interactions from all stakeholders and all sides of the divide in Ghana's private sector, it's very clear that even though the cost of doing business in Ghana is relatively high, and even though investment levels among the private sector could be marginally low, there's still high hopes, especially from government side and private sector in that regard, to boost doing business in Ghana, of course, improve its livelihood in the country. For Joy Business, I'm Charles Ayete reporting from the headquarters of the Association of Ghana Industries here in Accra.
And you're watching Business Live. We have been reporting that co-founders of photo-sharing giant Instagram are both leaving the firm. What does that mean for the company that was recently purchased by Facebook? We'll delve into that right after this break.
Welcome back to Business Life. I want to go a bit techie today, not as in techie, but how do you call it, technology-related stories for our main story today. And co-founders of photo-sharing giant Instagram, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger, are both leaving the firm. Chief executive of the company has said that they were parting to explore curiosity and creativity again. And as you may be aware, Instagram actually acquired the company in 2012. Facebook actually acquired the company in 2012. So we want to talk about why they're leaving, and our in-house tech guru, Kobe Nkrumah Spikey, joins me now for this. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, why are these two men leaving? And especially said they want to explore what?
Their curiosity
and creativity. What's that supposed to mean?
Well, that's a diplomatic way of saying that, you know, we want to go and start something new. But according to sources inside of Facebook's head office, one hacker away, it's because of some certain friction in the company. You know, since Facebook acquired Instagram, the whole idea was that Instagram was supposed to remain independent.
Right.
You know, they wanted to maintain the autonomy of the business. But
Right.
then, after the whole Cambridge Analytica scandal, and then, you know, some time ago, we actually did a story where we're talking about Facebook losing a lot of money.
Right, right.
That's basically what happened. So then, Mark says, Instagram, my eyes are on you.
And so it's basically, but is it also in connection to the fact that WhatsApp guys are also leaving? Looks
Yes.
like there's a lot of issue happening. And why is it? Is there a connection between
There
that?
is a connection. WhatsApp guys left because they also, you know, these guys are very, very passionate about what they believe in when it comes to what they do. And then privacy has been a very huge concern when it comes to, you know, when Facebook bought WhatsApp, the whole thing was that they wanted to now connect WhatsApp users to Facebook. So then you can find all your Facebook friends, your WhatsApp friends on Facebook, and they can and vice versa. So data sharing. And then that whole thing became a very serious issue, and they wanted to unplug. People were like, no, we don't want this. And it actually became something where in Europe, Facebook was given an ultimatum to stop that at once. So with time, the WhatsApp creators were like, nah, we don't want to be a part of this. This is not what we created WhatsApp for.
Right.
You want to make it into you want to take away people's privacy. We don't want that. So then they left. Now, Instagram guys also wanted the Instagram to be independent. And now Mark is trying to plug in a lot of Facebook features into Instagram.
A whole lot of confusion ongoing, right?
Yes.
So, but let's talk about acquisition itself in the first place. When Facebook acquired Instagram, the main idea is to give them some sort of independence.
Yes.
Have they really enjoyed that?
Well, they have been enjoying, I won't say enjoying, they've been fighting, according to the reports. They've been fighting to keep Instagram independent of Facebook.
Right.
Because they know if whatever bad smear happens to Facebook, if it's closely knit with Instagram, it could affect Instagram too. So they've been fighting to keep it. You know, some time ago, you could actually see some of your Facebook notifications on Instagram and vice versa.
Yeah.
That was them trying to plug Facebook into Instagram. And then these guys fought it and said, no, we don't want that. and it was changed, it was reverted.
For me, the big question is, if it's you as Spiky, will you leave your multi-million-dollar company just because the company is changing direction and focus?
You know, in these parts, it's quite difficult to start a business and it starts making millions, and then you just wake up one day and say, I'm leaving. Because it's difficult to start something again and watch it succeed. But these guys have a track record of being able to create something like that. So if it was me and I had, you know, the kind of reputation that they have, I'm sure I'd also work, because I'm also passionate about what I believe in. If I believe that my brand or my product is supposed to go this way, else it would crash, I would enforce that.
Right. I'm sure not in this part of our world you leave your company for, but in all this, is that going to affect users in any way?
Well, it may or may not affect users.
Okay.
Those who are concerned about this, who are concerned about their privacy, knowing what Facebook has been doing, and you know, a lot of people are leaving Facebook for Instagram because of privacy concerns. So if they know that Instagram is becoming like another Facebook, there's a high possibility that they're going to leave. Snapchat, on the other hand, has risen 2% in the stock market.
All right, Kobe Spiky, it's always a pleasure having you. I'm always excited to have you. Thanks so much for joining. Let's do our interview of the day. And the private sector is currently driven mostly by ICT and internet technologies, making it exposed to numerous cyber attacks. But as the measure to curb the cause of cyber crimes in Ghana, the Ministry of Communication is declaring the month of October as Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Let's now hear from the National Cybersecurity Advisor Albert Nshibwesiaku in our interview of the day.
To reach out to the bigger and the larger population of Ghana. For example, we have received a number of reports involving public being defrauded, mobile money fraud, impersonation on social media. And I think we need to reach out beyond the traditional groups that we focused on last year. That means even if you're a market woman, we're trying to bring that kind of awareness also to you. We are involving, for example, school children in second cycle schools across the region. So it is not only Accra-based event, but we are having a series of events across the 10 regions of Ghana. That is one of the pillars of this year's event. It is necessary because the Ministry of Communication has conducted a study on the state of Ghana's cybersecurity, and awareness is one of the key issues that came up in terms of the citizens being aware of the cyber risks to be able to develop certain cyber hygiene practices to address them. And that is why the awareness creation is quite key. An important element of national cybersecurity capacity building efforts.
Okay, tell us some of the highlights of activities in this whole month.
Great. I think the 1st of October, we're going to have a launch for the event. The Vice President is going to launch the event. He attaches so much importance to this because he's been championing, digitalization effort in the country. And it is not just a launch for the event, but the ministry has also developed a national cybersecurity awareness program, and that is also going to be launched. So after the month, we're still going.
All right, we've run out of time. That'll be it for tonight's program. Thanks for watching. My name is Darryl Kwao.
And my name is Sandra Sinamapen. We'll be back tomorrow right here.
Same time.